Yeah. Welcome, guys. It's another episode of Fight Talk Live. It's Danny Glover. It's October Red. It's Base the Kid. You know where it is. How you doing this evening?
Very, very, very well. What's going on?
What's
Gonna
going
put
on?
October on the mains today because she
That's
missed last week.
oh sorry. Sorry guys, I like to go to sleep. I'm like Bagpuss. Do you remember Bagpuss from the 80s? The cat that was that's me. That's me now. I'm 48 years old. I ain't staying up late.
48 years young.
You don't look it. That's the one good credit we can give you, October.
It's lighting.
So, how is everybody?
Well, I was all right, kind of, until I seen the announcement for Dan Aziz versus Craig Richards. Craig Richards versus Dan Aziz, and then that just spiraled me into another depression. I just messaged Craig Richards. I said, I'm sick to death of you fighting people, getting into fights where I don't like to have to make a choice. So Craig Richards and I have had a little bit of a to in and a throw in because
Hmm.
first it was Joshua, Boatsi. Now it's then it was Boatsi Aziz, and now it's Aziz Richards. This is just too much, man.
Yeah. He told me about that conversation. He told you that oh, you're doing that thing again. You got to pick a side, basically.
I can't do it. I
Mm,
refuse. I said to him, I might just log off the internet for a week.
yeah. Well, it's here. It's been a long time coming. And me and Base's good friend from our year in school, Dapo, is Dan Aziz's cousin. So me and him have been back and forth for many years over whose little cousin can do whose little cousin in, and we're finally going to go to the motherland and fight it out. But I had Dan Aziz's boys talk about it's a Nigeria thing. I said, no, we're taking you to the gully and we're going to drown you, and that's where Dan Aziz's career is going to go. I'm going to save a lot of the bars for if I get an interview somewhere during some type of event. But actually, I'll drop it here. Listen, his career is going into Elmina Castle because this is the point of no return.
La 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 la.
Okay. I've already made my position totally clear on this one. I am Switzerland. I am neutral. I will not be speaking to either person before the fight. I will talk to both of them afterwards. I wish them both well. I wish that they both come out of the ring healthy with all their faculties intact and very rich. But I will not be doing the basis picks that weekend.
Oh,
And yeah, just because I don't have to, I'm going to keep quiet and see what transpires. So if both of them are watching, you know my position. Don't message me. Don't call me.
I'll
Don't
be
shout me out
messaging.
in no that I don't. I'm not affiliated to either one of you until after the fight.
Well, I spoke to
I'm still
Craig,
messaging them both.
and he said that because I explained your situation base, and he said he actually accepts your one because you actually went school with Dan, so
But
you
it's
are
not accepting mine.
no, because base is the history there actually it is actually 50-50. It is actually 50-50. So he can see that angle, and because remember, base is from the Lucian Borough, so we know it's going to be divided one way or the other. Some people are just going to say, sit on the fence, and others are going to go one way or the other, and it's all fine. It's like when Craig fought Andre Sterling. It was just one of
Oh
those things.
yes, I remember that.
Mm,
Yeah, it's another one of those basically,
just on
but
a
on a
bigger
on a
scale.
much bigger scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Good for both of them. I don't get me wrong. I like the fight, but I'm not getting involved. But don't worry, I've been DMing them both.
Little
You know,
stirrer.
you know what I mean? No, no, nothing like that. I've just been like saying I don't really like none of his for this fight, but fair play. Nothing sinister. Nothing
Yeah.
sinister.
I hear it. I hear it. But look, ladies and gentlemen, obviously we've been talking about that. Thank you lot very much for being here Tuesday. Question. should we kind of make this the new regular day? Because it seems like the
Yeah.
Sunday we have issues trying to time everyone, but Tuesday
Okay.
early evenings might be a shot.
Might be a shout.
So in the chat, if you want this on Tuesdays instead of Sundays, where you might get it, you might not. It might be in the morning, might be in the afternoon or the evening.
Somebody
Put
might
in,
not be here.
and that as well. Put it in the chat and let us know. But yeah,
And
let's
it gives
talk.
October a chance to do a bit of homework.
I mean, I'm still waiting
No, but
to.
I know, no, but and I'm not, and I mean that actually in a nice way
It's
because you
okay.
know, no, but you're not going to stay up
But
till
Danny,
four
you
or five in the
smirked.
morning.
Danny, you smirked when you said it, though. So
Yeah, but I know you're not going to stay up till 5 in the morning, and that's
I
fine.
will if I'm kept busy.
All right. What's that group again? What, 5 in the morning? What are they called again?
Don't you hear? They'll put
Pretty
Cassidy
Ricky.
up today.
That's it,
Nah,
Pretty
nah.
Ricky.
Cassidy Man Hotel.
Oh, Pretty Ricky.
I mean, boy,
Anyway,
yeah. Well, look,
Star Fox says just agree on something to. Can I just say a massive thank you to Star Fox who comments such funny things on my posts, and it really does make me smile. If it's not on this channel, it's on my own channel as such. So thank you. Oh, here he is, and here's his twin, Skyliner the editor, and I'm convinced they're the same person, but I can't prove it. But I do like these two because they are like twins. And Skyliner, I am very, very wild. Very, very wild.
indeed, indeed. Well, look, let's get into it so that everyone can try to enjoy their evenings. Let's start with biggest talking point. Obviously, I've kind of had little bits of say about it, but I will probably go into more depth today. But October, seeing as this is your moment and you was on the ground, talk us through the fight, your thoughts, feelings, who you thought won the fight, and the subsequent outrage, and do you believe it to be justified?
Now, when a fight is close, you know what I'm like, base, because I'm not very good at scoring. I tend to sit it out. But what I will say, and is what I did say at the time, is that it was a terrible performance. I didn't like it, and that is not what I expected from Josh. Like I said, we have high expectations of him. He, after all, is the former Olympic medalist. So when it comes to like people like Parker, he should be able to cut the ring off, do things, understand what this guy is doing, suss out his game plan, and try and nullify that. And I kind of like said that afterwards. I just don't think from start to finish, the fight was just all wrong. But I expected intelligence from the corner. Say if Josh couldn't pick it up himself, intelligence from the corner to suggest ways to understand what Parker's doing and try and nullify that. And I didn't see that all through the fight. It was It was excruciating. At some points, base, I actually turned away from the ring. I actually turned away and I was like, well, you saw my face. I'm like, what is this? What went on? Why did that happen? And obviously, I went to the dressing room afterwards, and obviously, not everyone's going to be pleased to see me because I've been quite vocal about obviously his team, but I didn't clock, and it was somebody in the comments that said, obviously, Virgil was outside the ring. I didn't even clock that
Okay.
because this is how invested because I can't hear the corner, so I'm looking at the fight, but I didn't even clock that my man weren't in the ring, which was somebody said potential old age or whatever. Okay.
That was me.
Okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, so it was disappointing. Yes, it was a spoiler. There's been some comments about obviously the excessive holding, the falling on the floor, but I think Parker said that he didn't lay a glove on him, but obviously you could see the post-fight interviews where more than a glove was laid on him. But I can't score close, messy fights. Base, I'd be lying if I said that I could. I'm always going to back Josh, whatever the score is anyway. But not the scoring. It was just horrible. It was horrible. It was, and you quite rightly put it right yesterday. That Stepien fight. It's almost like when he has his debuts with his new promoters, we do get these subpar performances, but we know what he's capable of because we saw what he did with Smith. So where was that? You have to adapt to all styles. You are experienced enough to adapt to all different styles, but I didn't see the superiority and the adaptability in this fight.
Well, they say that. I mean, is he adaptable to all styles? Do we have to have that conversation? Because it seems like with these type of fights, even in the Hutchison fight, to a degree, he look okay. You might say he's a better fighter,
Yeah.
but the same issues. He had some of the very same issues, like
Head movement.
not even head movement, like just
What?
having to trying to set his feet before every shot, not being able to shoot off the motion,
Yeah.
having to be able to get to the inside to do anything, getting popped, sort of getting popped
On the way in.
or even on the exit at times. Sometimes not falling over the feet, but like getting almost caught in
Squaring up.
transition.
Mhm.
There's similar things with this type of style. Seems to be a pattern. So I don't know if the adaptability is there for that. Some people are just good with one type, and that's okay. So you match them against people of that type. I don't know if that's the same thing. So I don't know if he can do the adjustments that we're thinking he should be able to.
See, that's what I'm saying, and I'm stuck in between my answers, base, because there is tremendous bias. So I can't even trust that my answers will be honest and true. But the only thing I can be honest about and true about is that it doesn't need to be with Virgil. I don't know how many more times I need to say that it doesn't gel, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, because I'm not a fighter, ex-fighter or whatever. But in my opinion, the styles don't gel, and he was at his best when he was an offensive fighter with Rob McCracken. And I said to him, if you just stayed where you were and just worked together as a team and got through these hurdles of where you think stuff was missing, then it would have been fine. Because when he explained the type of fighter that he wanted to be, he was describing to me who he was in the first place. So this is what I'm saying. So that's why I said, because he said, who should I be with? And I said, back to who you were with in the beginning. But yeah.
Danny,
I'm biased in it. I don't know.
No, you know what? The thing is, I respect when you're biased and you can own the biasness. But Danny, give us your thought. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I agree that this marriage is not working with Virgil and Boazzi. And what it is Virgil has taken away all his best attributes. He's I see him even do this kind of trying to do this rhythm thing, like his name Anthony Sims Jr. I'm like, mate, your hips are too stiff for that. You're a big, strong African brother. Just be who just moves to brothers. Like, the last time I saw him look good, like obviously apart from the Callum Smith one, was when he fought Willie Hutchinson. And the reason why is because he was motivated by anger. So he went back to default settings. Other than that, he's trying to be some kind of boxer that he's not. But because Willie Hutchinson, we know what happened there. He's gone back to default mode where he's like, I want to punch you up now. But that's what I'm saying. When he's fighting these Stepians, and even obviously, all right, fair enough. Dan Aziz is his brethren. They went out to Ghana and had food, so he's carrying his brethren. I'll let that one go. But in the last round, he let him know, I'm your boss, and I've just dropped him twice, made my skin out on the floor a couple of times. But other than that, then when you got guys like Zach Parker, where I didn't even want to score the fight because I think it's going to be over in 5 rounds. I've had to go and watch it back, and I only watched it back because I watched the Weekend Wrap, and Base says I'm going to have to do this for Fight Talk Live purposes. So I thought, do you know what? I have to bloody do this, and it was painful. So I scored the fight, and I had it 96-94 to Zach Parker. Even on the night, I remember when I saw Carl Frampton's scorecard and he had it 4-0 after 4 rounds. I thought, hold on a minute, these commentary teams are moving a bit booky tonight. But they've been moving booky all night. They was doing it from the Aranyenka Dennis fight. They were like, oh yeah, he's Aranyenka's looking good and he's hitting. I'm like, mate, this brother's trying to box like he's Archie Moore. What does this guy think he's from the 50s? Even the ref told him, stop playing about.
He did.
Bloody fight, your mum.
Yeah, he did. He had a right word with him.
Punch up by the Turkish Tyson, but he's obviously influenced by.
He was so frustrated, but he dealt with it though, didn't he?
Yeah, by the Turkish Tyson Fury, not Iron Mike. But because when I saw the name, I thought, because Turkish fighters are notoriously aggressive type guys. So I'm thinking he's gonna come out like Iron Mike. Next minute I'm seeing man's using Fury tactics. So good little trickery there with the name. But yeah, no, we're back to Buatsi. Yeah, he's with the Craig one, we saw, look at that. First round, Craig's winning the first round. Man started trying to take Craig's head off. I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, and that was the first fight with Virgil. Yeah, all I can say Virgil has done is improved his jab. Because in the Craig fight, he's improved his jab and he's working on his jab, and that was married with the natural aggression of Buatsi. From after that, he just started taking away. Now he's getting hit. He's not aggressive. Like, it's fine getting hit. Buatsi wants to be the strong man. Like, when he was with Rob McCracken, he was getting hit sometimes. That's fine, because Rob McCracken fighters don't tend to necessarily have the best defense anyway, i.e. Carl Froch. But they move to brothers and they punch you up in the end.
Yes.
And that's what he needed. Because what Brett Parker was doing, falling on the floor multiple times, which should have been admonished by the referee properly. But had Joshua Buatsi been with someone like Rob McCracken, he would have prepared him from watching previous fights of Zach Parker, losing points and falling on the floor multiple times. Because why? Because Rob McCracken's dealt with fighters like that before, i.e. Andre Dirrell versus Carl Froch. And remember, people said, I thought Andre Dirrell should have got it, but Carl Froch and other people was like, you can't win a world title by falling on the floor every minute.
I don't remember that.
So he was falling on the floor like a little punk.
Okay.
And because of that, the next fight when he fought Arthur Abraham, when he should have got mash up, he started mashing up Arthur Abraham. But as soon as he got touched, man did the fainting on the floor and acting like he had some kind of brain damage. I thought, stop it, sunshine. But that's not even here or there. But as I said, had he been with Rob McCracken, he would have prepared him for a man.
Yeah, he would have.
Flail himself on the floor.
Because he's aggressive, he's an offensive trainer.
Yeah. Rob McCracken, he's from your neck of the woods.
He's a Bromie, we're mad.
Yeah, he used to have a proper Barney back in the day in the Resorts World and all them places there. It was one of his fights why the reason why they stopped doing shows in Birmingham, because it kicked off in the crowd and it went absolutely ballistic back in the day. So, yeah.
We do love a bit of a rumble.
Yeah, rumble, young man, rumble. But yeah, Buatsi, if he fought Craig Richards, Willie Hutchinson, Anthony Yard on Saturday night, he would have got absolutely obliterated. Because especially someone like Willie Hutchinson, who is a very reactive fighter. So when you guys were saying, oh yeah, even when he was getting hit, when he's exiting and in entering, with Willie Hutchinson, I can kind of let that go, because Willie Hutchinson is very fast and very reactive, and he can just hit you off of mad angles and off of the cuff. So I understand Buatsi getting hit, but yeah, he did what he needed to do in that fight and actually just moved to a brother. Now he's not moving to, like, why are you starling brawling with man like Zach Parker? Like, it was, and another thing a few people mentioned, I think Base was one of them as well, actually, is why he keeps doing these weird 10-rounders as a main event.
Base mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Base did mention that yesterday.
But what I noticed as well is when he spoke to you about the fighter he knows who's now, got the world title but is working a job don't want, and I need to secure myself. And then I watched him after in the post-fight interview, when you talk about, I respect anybody who's come back from a defeat and got back in the ring. This was really hard for me. I'm like, this sounds like a man who has been on the edge, who is now mentally been a bit come through a dark place from that Callum Smith loss. So I'm thinking, this man seems a bit damaged from that defeat. Then he's talking about, a guy from Saudi Arabia told me keep the beard, so I kept the beard. I'm like,
Who? You know what? That's one thing I forgot to ask him. Because why
Yeah.
would he keep the beard? Chop
Yeah,
it
because a
off.
brother asked you keep the beard from abroad. Brother, stop all
Move.
that. I remember you clearly in an interview back in the day saying when you do that, you do the
It was
trim
my
and you
interview.
cut the beard, and yeah, you cut the beard, and that means war. So you've
Yep.
gone from your tribal war thing. Now you're looking like, and that's why you fought like that, because you was in civilian mode. You're
He.
Yeah, he's now in civilian mode. He's gone into the ring as Joshua, the civilian, like a normal family man who goes church every Sunday. No, you've got to be the demon, unfortunately, and you've got to take off that beard and go back into tribal mode.
He said when he takes off. He said all the time on GB, you're not allowed to have a beard when you fight. Because
No.
I says, I thought it was like some war thing, and he goes, nah. It's just a thing that you're not allowed to have a beard when you fight. So
In the
that's kind
amateurs.
of the momentum. Yeah, that's kind of the momentum. So I always did it. So yesterday is the first time I'm sure. Not yesterday. Weekend's the first time I'm sure he had the beard, and I'm like, but it was only after when I got home. I thought, hold on a minute, my man didn't chop his beard off.
And he had some weird trim as well. It weren't even
Don't.
neat. That was like some coming to America
Don't.
thing. Oh, just make it nice
We're
and
not
neat.
now. You're getting into slander now.
No, come on, man. Nah, because
Nah, I'll allow the
no.
beard thing, but you
No,
can't be on
no,
here
no,
slandering my man about trims, Danny.
because this is stupidness. Go back to being yourself, Josh. You need to go back to being. And the thing is, I shouldn't even be coaching you because I should be looking for a rematch interest to get Craig the victory back. But I like watching Josh, and I
Stop
like him as
this.
a person, and I like seeing him. Like when I watch, it's like what you said. Fans, we like to see Joshua Boatsy because he
Be
matches
himself.
Where is it? Where's the same Joshua Boatsy which basically nearly wiped out what's his name? That brother.
Santos.
No, not even Santos.
Bolotniks.
Bolotniks.
No, the Liam Conroy when he just slammed it like his head nearly come off of his shoulders. Then he iced out the soldier boy Santos. Then he's mashing up Bolotnik and viciously when he mashed up Tony Avalon in one round where it took Anthony Yard 8 rounds. You get there with Anthony Yard trying to be some kind of boxer. Anthony Yard's gonna punch you up. I'm being real. You need to stop all this. No
one's going to punch him up because he's going to learn from his lesson on the weekend, and he's going to be absolutely fine. And he'll be back in Birmingham.
Now. She's protective.
He'll be back in Birmingham. No, sorry, he'll be back in Sheffield with Rob McCracken, and we're all going to live happily ever after. And he's going to be the demon that he can be because he's only 32 years old. I actually thought he was older than that, so I was quite happy when I heard that he was 32. That actually made me feel better.
But the problem is he might be an older 32 than some men that are 37.
Yeah,
because we don't know. Because maybe the peak is well. I wasn't referring to the passport, but maybe his peak. He's already hit that peak of his performance, and everything from now is downhill. We've got to wait for the next fight to find out.
Yeah, I can't accept it. I'll never accept it.
Okay, I hear it. I don't want that to be right, but we have to look at potential. It could be the case.
But
I will not accept that.
Shout out Dwayne Sinclair because he did a post today on Twitex where he pulled up the
the refs rules or something.
The rule book, yeah, from the British Boxing Board of Control, where it's about persistently ducking below the waistline, intentionally falling without receiving a blow, failing to break when so ordered, or striking or attempting to strike an opponent on the break. Hitting below the belt, but yeah, that's neither here or there. But yeah, so this is why judges may have scored some of these rounds the other way, even though, but as I said, it's that whole Andre Dirrell, Carl Froch effect. You can't win a fight moving like a punk.
He wasn't. Yeah.
I'm talking about Zach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's moving like a punk. He's falling on the floor, so the judges ain't going to give it to you. So, yeah, I scored it 96-94 to Zach, but when you're moving like that, the judges ain't going to make you win a fight like that.
Big Frank said that he thought Zach won as well. I nearly threw up my coffee when I watched that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was like, no. Uncle Frank, no. But, yeah.
Yeah, but listen, Boatsy, just go back to being yourself, um, and you need to make some serious changes because I like your fighting style, your real fighting style,
Same.
and you can do some serious damage and achieve your dreams. But unless maybe you're not motivated and you don't want to fight anymore, I don't know. Maybe you've got different plans and you want to be a humanitarian because I know he does a lot of work back home. If you want to do that and you want to get the money and run, then just let us know and I won't invest anymore.
Nah, he does want to fight.
All right.
Does he?
Yeah.
Not a lot of the interviews that he's given recently have given that vibe that he's really in it for the fight and just not in it for the business.
Well,
I mean, to be honest, look, when your nickname or what your name is just business, that kind of tells me that sooner or
yeah.
later it becomes more about that than it becomes about the accolades. He said it in your interview, Red. Like
He
you
did.
can't. He said the accolades ain't gonna pay the mortgage when I'm finished, and it didn't pay for my friend who won all the championships and now ain't got no money. So maybe he's literally thinking because he's now undefeated, he's beaten. Sorry, he's no longer undefeated. That maybe now it's time, okay, to just accumulate whatever you can because possibly you're just not going to get to the promised land. I'm not saying that's the case, but maybe he's thinking that way. Let me just get all the Skrilla I can now because I thought I was there like to be the next up. Clearly, that may not be the case if someone like Callum Smith at the age of 36, 37 is beating me.
Yeah.
That might be what he's thinking. So, okay, let me just accumulate the wealth and get out of here with my health intact. Again, I'm not saying he is saying that.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And I only say that because I don't want him to feel a certain way. Like, but these are the questions we have to ask. And unfortunately, as I said yesterday, one of the best things about him before was that he would have a fight and it would be a fight. So
Yeah.
he was, a lot of people outside of the community would say like, yo, he's about as dull as dishwater for interviews, and as a person, he just seemed like dull, but in the ring he could go. Now we ain't got either. And the only saving grace was the fact that the Callum Smith fight, because it was fight of the year contender, he didn't really lose any stock in that loss. And that was fortunate. But the fights, some of the fights before that, the stock went down. It went up in the defeat in there, but now it might have gone back down again with this controversy. So unless he can be a bit more of a personable person outside the ring with the interviews and show the personality that we've seen him have, he might not be able to connect with people. So that marquee value might go down. So there's a whole lot of things that could be playing and weighing on his decision right now.
Well, hopefully I'll get to speak to him soon anyway. I don't think he'd mind me saying this, but he's invited me to come down to his gym to do some bits with him down in Croydon.
Yeah, he did that on your interview, so we did see that. Yes.
Yeah, maybe I was in that much shock. I don't even remember what was said.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah,
because even Hotshot said your face because I don't know. I've got bad NVCs and it. So Hotshot looked at me. This is before I went into the dressing room for the interview, and he goes, "Your face." Like he was laughing at my face and it because I was just like, "What have I just watched?" I was in like total shock. Do you know what I mean? But what I will say, and I know that they do because I met his family. I had the pleasure of meeting his father, his sister, and his uncle-in-law, and they were the most beautiful people that I've met so far when it comes to family members in boxing. His uncle, his auntie's husband, said, "I know you." And I went, "Do you?" And he went, "You're October Red." He goes, "I have watched your interviews with Josh. It's so nice to meet you." And he was the family was so welcoming. Met his father, met his sister, beautiful, beautiful people. So I guess that's why my bias would just be my bias because I can't turn my back on him and I can't see any bad in him because I want him to do well. I can't be honest. So if you expect me to say anything about, I can't. Soz.
Yeah, no, I want him to do well because he's a really nice person. He messages Craig all the time, wishes him happy birthday and
Does
stuff.
he? You see what I mean?
He's a very genuine,
Oh, I'm gonna have
good
to get
brother.
tissue out. I'm gonna be crying in a minute.
Very genuine, good brother. So yeah, sorry for my rant, but it's for frustration. I want him to do better, and I know he can. So that's why I had to say what I had to say because he needs.
But this Russell are causing trouble. React see what you're missing out on. React done long time, man. Him gone.
He's out next week. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, with that being said, let's move on to another talking point from the night. Liam Cameron and Troy Jones, another one of your
Yeah.
compatriots over there. October.
Mm.
I guess it's only right to start with you again, being the resident Brummie on the
President
channel
Rummy.
with one of your peoples. How did you see that fight?
See, that was sort of six of one and half a dozen of the other. But on the eye, from sitting at the ringside, it looks like Troy was the more aggressive one. In my opinion, don't get me wrong, Liam was there as well, and it was to in and fro in. It was with the both of them, but to my eyes, and this has got nothing to do with Birmingham because Liam Cameron's amazing guy. I've spoke to him before, but I thought Troy just got that. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't score fights. So if you was to say, "I'll do round by round," forget it. No, but it was a good fight, and I knew it was going to be a good fight, and I was so happy to hear about that fight because I'm not really that fussed on lapping anyway. So I thought this was a better fight for the card, and it was a very good fight, an entertaining fight, and it's the type of fight that we should have had at the end of the night. Do you know what I mean? The undercard outshone the main event
Mm,
by
yeah,
miles.
yeah. It was yeah.
It was
But
day and night.
I'm glad it weren't pay per view. But yeah, what I'll say is I thought that Troy Jones just nicked it, but once again, the commentary was doing a
What were they saying?
major, major
Because I've
disservice.
heard
Anytime
loads about the commentary, but obviously I can't hear that. What were they saying on the
they
comms?
started it from, they started it all night. They did it from all night from Aaron Yenka. They was acting like he's landing all these shots, and Dennis can't land, and he ain't doing nothing. But then, like, it's clear as day that Dennis is peppering and hitting him
Yeah, it
and doing
was.
the better work. Then they had to like start like, but then yeah, it's like with the Troy Liam Cameron one. They was like, oh, there was actually like, yeah, Troy Jones is doing all this, and Liam Cameron, oh, the age and this and that, and oh, and then there was a round where they were like, oh, this is probably Liam Cameron's best round. I'm thinking, mate, you're not, you man ain't scoring this. And the worst one, which was winding me up, was Carl Frampton. His scorecard,
Really?
he was moving like
See,
Bellew.
I usually like his
I
scorecard.
know, but that night, I don't know.
He's usually really, really impartial.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a shandy or he got some kind of bonus, but he was doing a mad thing with the cards all night. His
Oh
commentary,
wow.
his scorecards was, he ain't no Harold Lederman. I tell you that for free, and I
Mm.
normally charge for information, but this guy was just doing, yeah, he was just totally egregious. Yeah, he needs to. There needs to be some kind of investigation and a disciplinary hearing. Yeah, man,
The
he was
comms
moving
was
dumb.
that bad.
He was moving dumb. Yeah, yeah. I get say Troy Jones nicked it because Cameron started coming back and really
Yeah.
closing the gap, but it was too little, too late.
Okay.
Yeah, too little, too
Yeah.
late for him.
I don't see it that way. So when I was watching it, man, and bear in mind, what I want to say is I wasn't watching it to score it. So I'm not gonna like say, oh, it won it from that sense. Like whoever won, whether it was Cameron or Troy Jones, I wouldn't have had an issue. But again, and I think Danny, you probably see in my video, went back and analyzed the commentary on that fight.
No,
But
I clocked it from
okay,
I watched the
cool.
show all night from Aaron Yenka. I was watching this guy. This commentary was just doing stupidness all
Okay,
night.
cool. Because I was looking at it, and the same way that Danny's talking, like we've seen that Liam Cameron is a person. First couple rounds is always the high guard, takes some shots, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
walk forward, see what he can take
Suss
and what he
out.
can absorb.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it works in his favor, sometimes it doesn't because he starts too late. That's always been an issue. But I saw from like round 3 onwards, he started doing what he was doing with Ben Whitaker in that first fight and what he did with
Letting his
Lyndon
hands go.
Arthur. He was applying that little steady pressure, walking forward, trying to attack to the body, trying to pop the jab, just trying to make the other person work and expend energy. And I saw him doing that, and I'm like, okay, I kind of see what's happening here. Let's see if this pays dividends down the back half and down the stretch. So then, as the commentators are talking, oh, like he's he's an old guy right now. Possibly this could be the one of the last stands. He just doesn't seem to have that second phase like he used to have, and blah blah blah. And I saw them saying this on rounds where I saw, in my opinion, he was winning those rounds, landing the cleaner shots, landing the shots that seemed to be hurting Troy Jones, and it or at least, and it was and the time is it was at times when he was mashing up Troy Jones's face,
We
and
saw
they're still
that.
saying this exact same thing. So we're like, hold on. So how is he so far behind and he just can't pull the trigger and blah blah blah? Yet Troy Jones looks like he just been in a car accident. I don't understand how that works. So then, I think it was the 7th round, where I literally put out a tweet, and I've said, like, are the commentators just reading from a script or something? Because they clearly aren't watching what I'm watching.
Okay.
This guy, like, I see this guy ramping up the pressure. And as soon as I kind of put the tweet and was pressing send, all of a sudden they were like, yeah, this might have to be this. They might have to call it quits. Like, he just doesn't seem to have it anymore. Oh, but this does seem to be his best round in a long time, like right towards the end of the round. And then all of a sudden the round after, oh, he's coming back into this one. Oh, but it's like, you saw him coming back into the fight 4 rounds too late, because he was doing this 4 rounds earlier.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, I was just like, okay, something ain't right here. And then again, I didn't really pay too much attention to the Lyndon Arthur commentary, but the fight itself was just a great fight to watch.
Beautiful.
And then there was more sort of that same kind of commentary in the last round, in the last fight. And Darren Barker was having a stinker. Obviously, Carl Frampton was having, Adam Smith seemed to be having a stinker as well.
He's had a few.
I feel like he's only good when there's those highlight reel moments. Outside of that, he doesn't really offer anything insightful. But yeah, it almost just felt like they was on payroll. But it's weird because they only seem, and I don't want to have conspiracy theories here, but they only seem to have these stinkers on Queensberry shows. Like, on Matchroom shows, you don't really hear them talking about, like, or being very, very one-sided to either the A side or painting the mad negative narrative to the B side. It always seems to be Queensberry when there's this fight is supposed to lead to this fight. Whereas on the Matchroom shows, they seem to be a lot more, it is what it is, because I think they just realized that, anyone can get beat on a Matchroom show. Whereas on Queensberry, if you get beat as the A side, something's wrong. Because they matchmake to get you to the point where you get to not just the next fight. They matchmake you to the point where you can get your title shot. If you win the title, brilliant. If you don't, oh well. But that's how you get match made with Queensberry as opposed to Matchroom. So I don't know. They just felt like they was reading from a script, and the script had some pages missing. And ultimately, at the end of it, like, that's why I wasn't even mad when Liam Cameron won, because I was even on to, I think he's won this fight. I saw him doing good work from the 3rd round onwards. I'm not saying he won every single round from the 3rd onwards, but I saw what these people seem to see five rounds later. So the fact he then won, I said, I ain't got a problem with that. But maybe that's just me.
I think sometimes the commentary is biased on both sides, but granted, to be fair, I do quite a lot of watch along, so I'm not listening to the commentary because I'm doing my own. So, but I do remember Matchroom commentary also being biased at points as well. But I do get the logic around what you're saying. There's a potential carrot at the end of it, so you steer it in a certain direction. But I'm convinced that I've heard that not just on Queensberry shows. I mean,
there will be certain people that will always they will play the company role.
Yeah.
Tony Bellew's one, Carl Frampton's one, Darren Barker's one.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are ultimately like lads, jobs for the lads.
And Johnny Nelson's one.
So
Johnny Nelson on comms,
not on comms, but in his when he does certain interviews and stuff, he does the company stuff. He's been accused of that many times.
But he plays into it. He's got his company man shirt and the brand, so he's he just has fun with it. I feel.
Yeah. Like Dev Sani. He's more of a
Yeah,
troll.
Dev don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've definitely heard it on Matchroom shows, but yeah, when it
But I'm just saying, not to the same level. Like, it seems to be a lot more egregious on Queensbury shows than Matchroom, in my opinion.
okay.
But I mean, maybe that's just maybe I don't watch enough of them. To be fair, I don't really
listening to commentary then.
Yeah, there's too much. To be honest, I try and stay away from Queensbury shows apart from like the last 3 fights, because they usually got like 12 or 13 fights
Yeah,
on
it
the
was
card.
like
I ain't
11.
got time to sit around for all that. Like, I like the Matchroom thing because they, you might have 7 or 8 bouts. You got 4 on the before the
Main.
bell, and then you got 4 on the main card.
Mm.
That's nice. I can handle that. I don't need like 7 and 8 6-rounders and a 2 4-rounders, then 3 8-rounders, and then a 10 and a 12 coming on at like 11:30, 11:45. I still remember Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yard, the second fight. Them man didn't even get in the ring till 11:30.
Yeah.
Or 11:45. Copper Box was ready to close at 1. That was a good thing that Anthony Yard got the stoppage so quick. Like, we would all got stopped. So, like, we would all get kicked out. So yeah, it's just.
But you know what? You know the good side of that though, Base.
What?
And somebody did mention about like the 5,000 fights on the card. But I said, you know what? If the shows, like the local shows, are still going on in quick succession, that's like 22 geezers that got a payday. Do you know what I mean? Some of them.
I hear that.
And because, you ain't got to tune into all fights, have you?
Well, the thing is, on the Queensbury card, you kind of do, because they normally got 8 fights on the main broadcast.
Yeah.
It's UFC style, really. They have the.
I don't mind.
They have the. What's it the thing? You know, UFC. They've got the before prelims. Then the prelims.
Well, yeah, they got the pre-prelims, then the prelims, then the main card.
Well, maybe that's what they're doing then.
Yeah.
Oh, they need to stop.
I
hear it. I don't get me wrong. I hear the logic, but ultimately, if that's the case, have a couple shows during the week. I wouldn't mind, like the way
a Wednesday or something.
A Wednesday show or the Tuesday or a Thursday show. Like, you can put
that.
Huh?
Matchroom are doing the Wednesday show, aren't they? Yeah.
So I'm saying you can do that. Just put the lower level guys on those cards, but you can have them higher up the card so they get a bit more of they understand what it's like to main event or what it's like to be in the prime time slots. Do that, but then save the weekend cards, especially the cards that we're paying the big subscription for the bigger fights. I'm not saying they have to be the household fights, but the fights that mean something. The little 3 and 4, the 4-rounders. Most people ain't caring about those. They don't care about you when you're at that level unless you've got a mad following from before, which ain't from boxing anyway. So,
well, unless you're Nathan Heaney, I guess.
Yeah, but even I just feel like especially them younger ones, it makes more sense for them to be on smaller cards or cards away from TV. Like, let them develop away from the spotlight. We don't need to see what they're doing.
That's been a common argument recently. Somebody else has said that. Don't have the fresher talent on TV. Build them away from it. I've heard that recently, but honestly, I don't mind 11 fights because all I think about is these guys are getting their little bit of money.
No, all you think about is the possible content you could get.
Yeah.
Do you see me get all? You reckon?
Running up the.
I'm joking.
What's it? 5-hour lives. No, I'm joking.
Oh, you mean the watch-alongs? Well, if I did them, then yeah.
No, I'm messing. I was thinking that when you're in the building, but no. But to be honest, that's only Queensbury you can get at the access anyway.
Yeah,
so. True. Okay, well, look, let's sort of wrap up that card. Let's obviously talk about Lyndon Arthur and Brad Ray. Probably fight of the night. I feel like is fair to say. Dan, give your thoughts on that one quickly.
Yeah, that was my main event, in my opinion. And that was a fight where that was the only fight of the night where the commentary were on point. But I think the fighters forced them to be on point because there was no opportunity. Because the first round, I felt the commentary going into that, I feel would have probably been siding with Lyndon. They wanted him to win because he's more, Queensbury known, etc., etc. So the first round, the jab working beautifully. He's got the best jab in the business. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah, Lyndon, which was fair enough. So they was going to go with that narrative until the second round where, Brad Ray dropped him with a headshot something, you know, another person hasn't been able to do. But we will get to that closer to the 22nd because I've been screaming this. So, Jules, if you're watching this from Ring IQ, we need to have a conversation. Base, closer to the time, we need to have that conversation because I don't think he was actually one of the get against me, but I will be dropping content on that. So he got dropped. He got up, and then from then, Troy, what's his name? No, sorry,
Brad.
Brad Raya, he made a fundamental error in starting to, because he's dropped Lyndon Arthur to the head. All he started doing is going to the head. And Lyndon's popping underneath it, luring him in, jab, and then slowing down the jab. Boom, right hands. He's walking him into right hands, just shimmying back, using his experience. Whereas what Brad Raya should have done, because we know Lyndon Arthur is definitely susceptible and weak to the body, something which he admitted Anthony Yard hurt him with in the last round in their first fight. He got dropped with a body shot in the second fight and stayed down for the count. Got dropped by Bivol when he was running around the ring all night and with a body shot as well. So Brad Raya, once you've dropped him to the head now and you've backed him up on the ropes, you should have been going to the body, but he didn't. He started headhunting. Lyndon's able to slip under, get himself back into the fight. But in the fourth round, he got rocked again. So he lost that round. Brad Raya gave him that round. From then afterwards, Lyndon just started hitting him with clean right hands, jabs, landing good combinations, uppercuts, and then body shots at the end of every round. It's like he knew when the last 10 seconds was, then he'd fire a combination and hit him in the body right at the end of the round and leave something very eye-catching to the judges. Lyndon's style was, I think that's the best I've seen him box since he beat what's that guy's name? The guy Shakan Peters beat and
I know what you mean.
Dex Spellman.
Yeah,
that's the best I've seen him box since I see him box Dex Spellman. And yeah, big ups to Lyndon for that performance because he was really hurt by that shot and he pulled himself together and he actually showed some ambition because I think that he looked demotivated in the last couple of years, like he's, living a different kind of life, maybe, knocking around with a few kind of different kind of guys. But here he seemed very motivated. I don't know if it's because of Manchester derby, which brought it all together, Man United, and you got a man from your end. You don't want people talking about, my man from over there mash you up. So he had that kind of bragging rights, which does bring something extra out of you. And great accolade to have now. He's the European champion, something that his uncle Pat Barrett won back in the day with a hellacious knockout. And then also that he's won the Commonwealth title, Lyndon Arthur, as well to his name, whereas his uncle Pat won the British title with another massive knockout as well. You definitely need to check out those because he was a very explosive puncher, Pat, back in his day. And it's a great thing. And onwards and upwards. But what I do think, going by how I saw the night going, where they was sticking Willie Hutchinson on that mic, heavy. Every minute.
I missed that then.
Every minute he's on the camera. They're interviewing every minute. And then
I was selling him then.
Yeah, I think they're going to put Willie Hutchinson in with Lyndon Arthur next.
Okay.
In European. That's what I think is going to happen by the looks of it.
Interesting. Any quick one on Billy Dennis and Ezra Aranyeka before we move on?
Well, I think I kind of said throughout the other talking points my opinion on it. Yeah, Aranyeka was trying to do some Archie Moore business, being stupid. The ref told them to actually have a fight, and then from then, Dennis seemed to take over and dominate, and Aranyeka was sort of hanging on in the end, just trying to get through final rounds. Showed toughness, but he was getting peppered. If Dennis was a bit of a proper puncher, he would have got him out of there. But I heard the commentary team say maybe Aranyeka, the reason why he got tired is because he cut down from cruiser. Because I know he did box out in Nigeria
as a cruiser.
Yeah, I think so. Because he did box recently, about a few weeks ago. On that,
that was a Hoga.
Was it a Hoga?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the Terminator, the one he calls himself Arnie.
I'm a soldier. Yeah. But Aranyeka, he must have boxed as a cruiserweight in his last bout. I don't know if he went as high as 200, but he might have went to 190. But even that, to take off 15 pounds is gonna hurt you. But and I think that's why he didn't even make the weight. He come in 2 pounds over, which he got penalised for. And then he slapped the egg in Dennis's face. So
that was funny.
Is he gonna get a fine? I don't know.
No, he won't. That Lyndon Arthur fight I enjoyed. Definitely a good fight. I think I would like to see him versus Joshua Buatsi next, if I'm honest.
Okay.
But I don't think that will happen because, like Danny's just alluded to, it's all about Willie Hutchinson at the moment. But if I was Frank Warren, I think I'd be putting those two. They were both off GB as well, so I think that's a good little fight to make, if I'm honest.
Okay. Fair
And it's a
enough.
rematch as well. Sorry, because in the year that Joshua Buatsi won the ABA, is a little fun fact. He beat Craig Richards. Then he beat uh, L- Lyndon Offer. Then he
Mhm.
beat some guy Tommy or something who didn't go pro, and then he beat Brad Ray, all in that same year. So it's
There you
interesting.
go,
Fights Lyndon, then
full
it'd be
full circle.
yeah.
And
Definitely.
fair play to Lyndon because he did pull himself off the floor. He said it when I spoke to him. This is a different fighter now. Because I said, "Do you feel like you lost your way?" I've said that to him, but he looks like he's actually he means what he says. So
Yeah, and he's
that
got
was
a
refreshing to
nutritionist
see.
now.
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, let's talk about October's other favorite, Mr. Jordan Thompson, the troublesome one who
right.
seems to get on extremely well with the troublesome Red. So I know that was the only fight on that card you saw, which is good. But let's talk about that, Red. Let's get your
Yeah,
opinions on him and Lenier Peril.
you know the way like you put it, base. It sounds like I'm like running through these geezers, isn't it? Sounds a bit mad, like favourites and that.
Well, you've admitted you have your favorites.
I've only got one at the moment.
Oh,
But what I will say is even though Jordan Thompson lost, and I don't usually there's no second prize in boxing. There's a winner and there's a loser. I will say I was impressed with his mid range and defence. He's tied it up. He's been out the ring for 2 years. I was astonished that he was put in with such a challenge at heavyweight for his heavyweight debut. I actually believed he was being fed to the wolves again, and he stayed in there. He didn't win, and he got hurt. I thought he was going to go down. I think it was round 9. But what I did see is better work. He didn't look like he was out of the ring for 2 years. And I will shout out Daily Perales that has been with him alongside Don Charles, training him up. And when we talk about things gelling, I'm glad he's gone back to Don Charles. But I'm also glad that Don Charles has given Daily Perales an opportunity to be part of that team as well. Jordan, okay, he lost the fight, but Eddie Hearn's now saying, all right, then, let's see how he gets on with the British. So he's potentially going to try and feed him in there to the winner of Takivi and Clark, which would be interesting because I know that also Dakers wants to go for the British as well. So it could be quite a nice little cheeky little mix up with all of these guys fighting each other, which is quite interesting. But I'm happy for Jordan. He lost, but I'm happy for him because he didn't lose badly.
you know the
He lost
fight
well.
I'd a fight that I'd actually like for Jordan Thompson. Now that
Go
he's
on.
managed to get the ring rust off, and he looks very very good up at heavyweight.
Yep.
Still shredded, not
Yep.
much fat on him, if anything. So
Yeah, he's a
big up to him
monster.
and the nutritionist. He looks more solid. He looks happier. He looks like
Does.
he's got some punch resistance now. Still not great because we still saw what happened in that ninth round, but it looked like his recovery or his ability to be able to survive seemed like his survival instinct seemed a little bit better.
Yes.
Um, and is it just me? Before I even carry on, did anyone else notice he still had the raised protruding cheekbones even at 230 pounds?
His
Like
dad's got him.
because no, but like normally that's a sign that you're making weight and you're drying out and you're having to cut down. But he's still got it there, which could tell me that he might actually have dropped weight to get to 238. Like he could all actually be a 255 kind of guy.
Yeah, I can think he can be heavy, but his dad has got this exact same cheekbones, and his
Right.
dad's like big, more like solid.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That's interesting. Um, But I think a good fight for him, or a fight I would like to see,
Yeah.
him versus Riakpo. Two massive punchers,
Oh.
two obviously like former cruisers, but
Oh,
like
that's made
proper
the
size
hair
heavyweights.
stand up on my hands.
Two massive, two massive punchers who don't always exhibit the
The
skill
fine
level,
arts.
but they both have that devastating right hand. I think that would be a
Oh.
great little fight, personally.
Mm, interesting.
October's stunned into silence. Okay, so while October's having to think about that, look, I'll give Jordan his credit. Like, I thought that by the sixth or the seventh round, it would kind of no. Actually, to be fair, I said between 7 and 9. I felt like he would get taken out, and I was almost correct because in that ninth round, it was looking techie, but he was lucky that it was towards the end of the round when those shots kind of came in. But very good. I felt like his movement was a lot better. Like, even though he's very sort of fleet footed anyway, and he's a good athlete, I felt like he actually moved quicker with the extra weight than he had before. Maybe that's a sign of the energy. Maybe they've been working on the fast twitch muscles in the calves and all of that. But everything seemed to kind of be gelling well, except for he was still selling out for me in the pocket. Now, considering the fact that Lenier Perro has exceptional defense, and he's a catch and counter artist.
Yeah.
He's what Dillian White was like, but just several levels above him from a technique perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his guard, I was saying, I think I said it on my on Weekend Rap. He's, to me, his heavyweight guard is second or is on the same levels as Zhang, because neither of them ever actually get hit that clean to the face often. And it's because they have that mad tight guard where they can sort of jostle your arm just the way as the shots coming in, or they've got the really solid, so they don't even really get that impact back onto the forehead when you take the shots. And his stance,
No, I'm looking now. You got me. I'm looking
yeah,
at BoxRec now
yeah,
to
I
see
hear
that
it.
their numbers are similar as well,
Yeah,
as in the numbers of fights that they've had.
that's what I'm saying.
32 years old, 35 years old, newly, gone up to heavy. Sorry, you got me think. My head's going tick, 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 tick.
I hear it. But no, yeah, look, ultimately, I thought Lenier Perro did, in the first few rounds, he did really well. And you can see that he's clearly a guy that's very similar to Ajit Caballero. He's investing in the body. Both him and his brother are body punchers. You still got to do your homework, by
Oh
the way.
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
But
will. I
but
will.
yeah, no, they are body punchers first and foremost, and they use the body punches to set up the headshots. They're both good at kind of draining the engine and sort of taking the air out of the tires. And I felt that, apart from obviously a couple of the low blows, some of them I felt were like not intentional, but it was almost like he didn't care if it landed low, and others were, it was kind of, sort of dipping down to try and avoid a shot and maybe getting a little shot, little forearm on the back of the head. But yeah, he just controlled a lot of the fight. And even in the rounds where like Jordan won, except for I think it was round 6 or 7, I never really felt like, okay, Jordan's won this round and he's about to take it over and he's about to like really do damage. It just felt like, okay, he's just kind of done a bit more in this one because Perro's just kind of tucking up and not allowing him to do it, but he's not under any duress. There was never a time where Jordan threw a punch. I thought, oh, Perro's he don't like that one. He didn't like that one. He stayed in the pocket the entire time. And I said in my video that easiest way for him to win that fight is to stay
You
in
did.
the pocket because he's
You
got the
did.
shorter arms
You did.
ultimately.
Yeah.
So
I watched that.
your shots are going to get off before his shots do. And that's where I feel like he did hold most of his success. Jordan did have some success from the mid-range and a small amount from the outside, but Perro was very good at being able to slip a shot underneath and then come straight through with the counter,
Yeah.
especially even on the outside, which was very, very interesting. Yeah, like I said, it got a bit hairy towards the end of the fight. It would have been interesting if it was a 12 rounder because Jordan still had a lot of energy left, even though he was hurt in that ninth. he looked the fresher of the two by the time it ended. It would have been interesting to see if he could have turned it up for rounds 11 and 12. Peril still got a little bit to work on. Obviously, he's transitioned well out of the amateur style, but he's one of the new school Cubans anyway. They're all about trying to take your head off rather than just the footwork and the boxing. But I thought it was a really good fight, a really fun fight to watch, and I'm looking forward now if Peril does get the Jarrell Miller fight, because he called him in the ring. So
he did, didn't he? Yeah.
You want to fight? Come, let's fight next. Just make sure that this fight don't fall through like the last three. I was like, we're talking spicy now. So yeah,
I'm factual with it.
Danny, what did you think of the fight, man?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I was another one who thought that Jordan was going to get stopped very badly, and he was being fed to the lions and stuff like that. But he performed very well. But I was, leading up to it, I remember the weigh-in. I was a bit worried because I remember when he fought Jai Patai and he was like, I know you're ready, but I'm ready too. But he looked kind of shook when he was saying it because Jai's got them mad eyes. And then obviously in this way, and he kept doing this, and I'm thinking, what's he doing that for? I'm thinking, is that like a nervous thing he's doing? Like he's nervous?
Could be.
I was thinking, yes. I was like, I don't know. But then he went up to the camera and he was like, I'm on violence. I'm just on pure violence. So, okay, all right, let's just see how this goes. The early rounds,
He started too late, didn't he?
Yeah, he started too slow. He was trying to do the measuring thing, and then he's trying to do like this posing thing because he's got his new muscles. At the end of the round, he kept trying to do the.
No, he does that.
But I know that move. That move, that's the thing I used to do that in the amateur. But it's when you're trying to get the trapeze. You're trying to get the trapezius out.
He's always done that in his fight. Something that he does.
That's the light skin thing. I know
exactly
what that is.
Come on, man.
That's the pretty boy thing.
Nah.
I won't say light skin thing, but it's a pretty boy.
I was about to say, October won't even defend that comment.
No,
you know what I'm like.
That's why you won't defend the comment.
No, it's a poser man thing. I know bear boxes, and it's a poser man. You're trying to peacock. You're trying to do the peacock.
Serious?
Thing. Yeah, it's a peacock thing. I know exactly that move.
Well, you know what? Whatever impresses men or whatever, I never looked at it like that.
Men.
Well, I never noticed like he did it like that.
Yeah. So he kept doing that, and then obviously he's talking to him. Jordan's talking to him in there and stuff like that. And what he should have focused more on trying to land punches and fight rather than talking to him and posing. A couple of even when he got the first low blow, he's looked at the ring and he's like, FUCK, but it's like he's not fully focused and locked in and stuff. Then there was another low. Well, it wasn't a low blow to me. He hit him on the belt and he tried to complain. The rest like, no, carry on, don't try it. Yeah. And then he's had to get back. He's like, it was like a football one, when they try to, and then when the ref goes, no, then they jump up, no spray needed. So but what I'll rate though, as you said, big ups to Don Charles for taking him back and training, and then also big ups to John Charles for allowing Daily Perales to, because what Daily Perales did in that corner, because what Don Charles was saying, listen, you're letting him dictate the pace, you're letting him like bully you. Don't have it. You got to stick it on him. You got to do this. You got to do that. But Jordan's not really listening. Once Daily Perales stood over him and started shouting instructions, listen, and like gave him it. From that round on, that's when he started winning rounds. That's what I clocked. From Daily Perales gave him the mad speech, and Don Charles looked at Daily like he could see it's getting into him, so he's giving him the signal.
He's listening.
Keep going. You've tapped in on him. So from there, then Jordan started winning rounds and stuff like that, and he's actually doing all right and pulling it together. Then obviously he got caught in the ninth. It happens,
Yeah.
It's boxing, isn't it? So
he went swimming.
Nothing wrong with that. And then he lost the 10th round, but he done very well, as Bay said as well. His recovery powers seem better. Obviously, we know that Pero is not a finisher as of such like Jai Patai, who's just going in and hammer and tong. But yeah, I think that, and the way Eddie Hearn spoke is like, oh, okay, I tried to close you out here. I tried to sort of get you off the books here, but you've done so well. I'm going to give you.
I'm going to have to let you back in again.
Yeah, I'm going to give you another chance, and we can actually.
I like that though.
Do a thing. Yeah.
I like that. I rated that.
Yeah,
He didn't commit to saying that he's re-signing him,
no,
but he says, "Listen, that's worth another goal."
yeah, he'll do a fight by fight deal with him, and yeah, as long as Jordan performs, and I'm sure he will get Eddie will get him
I think he'll get better with Daly.
a softer touch than obviously someone like Pero next time out, get him a nice win and
He
stuff
said
like that.
you'll get him at 8 rounder, didn't he? Says you'll get him at
Yeah,
eight, something, something like
yeah,
that.
get him to blast out a couple man or whatever, and then he's back in the mix. So yeah, well done to Jordan, man. Yeah, and I think that will do wonders for his confidence, and I think that it's a good move he did back to Don Charles and adding in Daly as well. So big
And
up
it's a good
Daly.
thing he took the risk, because if he never took that risk, he would have been left out in the cold. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes with these fighters, when you've got nothing left, you have to take the risk. And he took the risk. And this is why I was moaning about the opponent that Riakpor's taking compared to the opponent that Jordan Thompson's took.
Tommy Walsh.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's why I've said that, because this is Jordan Thompson's debut after 2 years. That heavyweight debut, that was a hell of a ask, and that's why he needs his props. Like I said, he might have lost, but there was a second prize in that fight. Trust me, because people aren't getting those. He didn't get an easy ride into the heavyweight division. Don't care what anyone says.
No. There was no welcome package.
Nah,
Yeah,
they were looking to nyam him.
Okay, so who would you like to see Jordan take on next?
I agree with what you've said. I've gone on to BoxRec now.
Oh,
I'm sold.
Riakpor's.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Make that fight 100%.
I'd like to see him.
100%.
I'd like to see him get a couple of or one soft touch, blast out someone, get the really get the
Yeah.
confidence. Just because I know you guys are saying a massive puncher, but he doesn't know if he's able to now knock out a heavyweight yet. So he needs to demonstrate that, like Okoli and Riakporhe have been able to do. Drop and knock out a heavyweight. Don't need to be some.
Did
someone-
Riakporhe knock him out? I thought he just stopped him on the. Did he knock him out?
Well, not clean, but
Yeah,
no,
he
there was one of
TKO,
them.
wasn't it?
He
There was
dropped
one
him
of them
though.
that he dropped. He
Oh,
dropped
he dropped
him, but
him. As if he dropped
it
him, he
wasn't
dropped
like a
him.
TKO. Referee stepped in.
Mm.
Yeah, the guy kind of quit, but he was on the way. He dealt with the brother.
Yeah, but
one in America.
that geezer that he had. All the heavyweight debutants have had that geezer to fight. Do you know what I mean? He's like there for the heavyweight, and that's what I thought Jordan would have got. So if Jordan gets someone like him for, like you said, that blowout fight or whatever, see Wagwan. But I'm 100% with base.
Yeah, and after
Thompson
that,
versus
then
Riakporhe.
then after that, I'd like to see him fight. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the winner of Fraser TKV.
Which is
Well, I
what
think-
Eddie's alluding to.
But I'd like to see him probably fight a David Adelaide.
They won't fight. They're friends, aren't they?
Are they?
I think they're friends. I think so, yeah. I think
Oh.
Jordan Thompson and David are friends. David has come to support him at fights before.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I believe so. I could be wrong.
Well, you know what they say. If enough money's on the line, you'll fight your friend because you're giving each other a payday.
True,
So
true. I mean, I would like to see that fight, but I couldn't see it happening because of...
And I don't think it'd be enough money for David to fight his friend, because David's been very fortunate and had some very good paydays thus far.
He's a businessman.
couple Riyadh appearances will do that for you.
Yeah.
But even Jordan versus Dakers,
Yeah, I mean that'd be a decent fight. I was gonna say so. I'm gonna leave that
what,
one.
say
alone.
it. We're all friends here, say it.
No, I'm just thinking for back to Danny's comment, it's better than the light skins, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Who's gonna reign supreme?
Oh, God.
Who's gonna be alpha?
I think there's a few names there, jokes aside.
Mm.
I think
I
there's
hear
a few names in there that can all mix it up with, which is kind of given the heavyweight division a little bit of gas on the fire, a little bit of a flame on the cooker, and I do like that. So fair play to what Jordan's done, because he's pulled him back into the mix, even if it's just the British mix at this time.
I hear it.
I like it.
All right, so if we round up to some of the other fights in there, October, feel free to sit this one out. But we did see what was his name? Felix Valera against Pat Brown. It was supposed to be a 6 rounder. Pat Brown no, it was an 8 rounder. Sorry, Pat Brown disposed of him in 2. They were trying to.
Two.
No, sorry, it was a 10 rounder. I think they wanted rounds. They wanted him to get 8 rounds and then get the stoppage in the 8th. But he decided that we're again. Once I see the opening, I'm just going to take it. And to his credit, Valera did try to, he tried to give it a go. He didn't sort of come there to try and just run about, which I didn't predict he would. But I thought he would get stopped. I thought it would be a little bit later, about around sort of 5, 6. But once those shots started raining in, and the power, Pat Brown's counter punching, and his willingness to open up in the pocket is quite admirable.
Yeah,
but also quite scary.
Yeah, it is.
But he's crazy enough to do it, which is probably why it's gonna take a special fighter to exploit him. Because most of the time in those exchanges, and I think Danny can attest to this, like the person who does the most damage is the person that's prepared to put it all on the line. It's usually, you will notice a lot of the time when you have those exchanges, one person is fully committed to the task regardless, and the other one maybe has a slight hesitation. And it's, even though it's a microsecond, you can kind of tell when one guy's thinking, damn, should I actually be in this situation? But by the time that they've had that moment to process, it's too late. They've been caught and they end up getting taken out, especially when it's a battle of the hooks.
Yes.
And I think because Pat Brown, he doesn't seem to have that in his head that, oh, this is probably a risky move here. It's just, I'm going for it.
And he's fought like that from the beginning, hasn't he, Base? He's almost reckless.
And even as an amateur, and the thing is, it's not even
reckless dangerousness.
I was gonna say it is reckless, but it's like, it's almost controlled recklessness, because his conviction is so much that this is going to work. Like, regardless, I am taking you out, regardless of what you. And I think, even because remember, Mike Tyson used to have the thing where psychologically he'd beat people before they even get in the ring. So it's like he could do something where he could put himself in a dangerous position, but the other guy is so in their head that they take that moment to, wait, why am I here? Next thing, bang. So I feel like it's a very similar thing with Pat, and because he's getting these knockouts now, it's only going to be when he gets to like a proper level, British, European, and fringe world, where people are going to be like, I'm not intimidated by your style or by the fact that you've got extremely heavy hands. I've seen that before. I know how to deal with that. So let's see what else you've got once that doesn't work. So that's where it's going to be a case of, we need to see, can he maintain his boxing fundamentals, and can he actually get back to his boxing when he needs to, or is he just going to always kind of now be the slugger? Because as fighters, a lot of the time you do what works for you. Even though you've got all these other skills, you let them erode because you just focus on the one thing that you're good at, and you feel like you can just drag people into doing that one thing. Hopefully he can maintain those skills, but it will be interesting to see. I don't know if you watched any of it, October, so...
all I saw was he just punched up the geezer, and the geezer just went to sleep, face down on the floor, and the geezer went down that hard that his shorts were ballooned for a little bit, like the air was still in them as the shorts went down. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Airbag.
Listen, go and watch.
Ronaldo Jr. What can you say? Airbag safety.
The air. I've never seen anything like it. He's dangerous. He's dangerous with his recklessness. He's a problem, and God forbid when he goes up to heavyweight, because he is a heavyweight in my eyes. I've seen him stood next to Dave Allen. He ain't a cruiserweight.
Anyway, he's got strong legs, so he can definitely, put, additional mass on the frame and carry it quite well. I've seen the size of his legs, calves. He is a unit. So yeah, he will be fine. I would, a fight I would like to see, even though it's a bit early now, and because we're doing the fantasy fight,
it don't matter.
And this is me. I would love to see Pat Brown against Richard Torres Jr. Give me that fight.
Yeah, go on.
Give me that fight.
Yeah, go on.
That's just a carnage.
Yeah, go on.
that's absolute carnage, and I'm here for it.
Have it.
Southpaw, orthodox, both similar heights.
I'm backing Brown.
I'm not saying it. What I'm saying is Richard has got the level changes that Pat doesn't. He's never had to deal with as a pro. I don't even think he's really had to
I'm
deal
back
with
in the
much of it
Monster
as an
Brown.
amateur. And also, does he? How does he deal with southpaws? Because he hasn't fought any as a pro yet. So I'm just saying, I would like to see that fight because it's got violence and
Written
fun
all over it.
written all over it.
Base, you've picked some nice fights tonight, you know.
I should be a matchmaker. Kevin Rooney should come to me for advice.
You've really made the taste buds salivate this evening with names that you've put together. Yeah.
What was your thoughts, Danny? Because
Yeah, one thing I will say is I think that when he goes to heavyweight, he will definitely have to start putting the weight on the legs because his legs are actually skinny. If you look at them, I was very surprised how skinny his legs actually was.
I don't think that that's.
His legs are skinny.
Yeah, he's got skinny calves for a European man. His legs are very thin.
Well, no, he's got big quads. He's got.
Yeah,
some people just don't have the calf muscle. But I didn't think his calves were that small.
I thought he had decent sized legs, to be honest.
No, they were small because even when you see a picture of him afterwards as well, I noticed when he stood, there was a picture where he stood next to Jamie Moore, and Jamie Moore's legs was bigger than his, and I was like, oh, that's not good. Jamie Moore was a light middleweight, so yeah, I know he's retired now, but still, as a cruiserweight, your calves need to be bigger than that. Your legs look a bit thin, man. But other than that, good win. It looked good. But we don't need to get too overexcited because at the end of the day, he did knock out a blown up light heavyweight who, someone who, he had a decent performance against Dimitri Bivol, but he was dropped against Maxim Vlasov twice. He was dropped once against Sullivan Barrera. He lost to all three of those on points. But since he went up to cruiserweight, he's been knocked out twice already. Got knocked out by Alexei Papin in 5 rounds.
Why do you have to spoil our fun with facts?
He got taken out by Michael Cieslak in 3 rounds.
Oh, see, you're just ruining it now.
That's what I'm saying. So since there's a cruiserweight,
let the boy shine, man. Sure.
He's been taken out 3 times now, but he's naturally his best days was at light heavyweight, and he is 37 years old. But it was exciting. Pat Brown, he does commit to his punches, and as Bay said, normally the person who closes their eyes in that exchange is usually the person who's going to come out worst off because they're not really committed. They're like,
interesting,
kind of hesitant and squeamish to it. Whereas the man who's like really, really going for it, they usually do come off better off because they actually more ready for it than a man who's just trying to brace for it and wait for the impact, but they don't actually know how hard or exactly when the second is they're going to get hit with the shot. But But I see, obviously, Eddie Hearn is very happy with his investment in Pat Brown. And Pat Brown, I've seen some of his fights as an amateur, and he was definitely on that exchanging thing from then. So that's a thing he's carried through, and he's just on that rocking. So, yeah.
Okay. Very quickly, so Omari Jones and Nishant, they've both got victories. Omari got a stoppage over Youssef Metu, who never been stopped before in any of his losses. Took a lot of prospects the rounds. He got knocked out in the second round against Omari Jones. No, third round, sorry. Third round of 6. So good for him. Nishant Dev went the distance. They've got their little beef from the amateurs, so it'll be interesting to see when they eventually build that up for their fight, which is clearly they keep talking about, so they're going to make happen. Interestingly, though, I didn't actually know Nishant Dev is in the same gym as Ray Ford and Ginny Fuchs, who was she was the team captain for the American women's Olympic squad from 2020. So yeah, and there's a couple other people in that. I didn't realize he trained in that gym, which is interesting. And then I guess lastly on there, I guess the fight of the night on that card had to have been Yovis Gomez against Antravius Ingram. Now that was just imagine just the Lyndon Arthur Brad Ray fight on the other side of with just one person who's a bit more about skill, but like front runner, kind of getting tired, having to hang on towards the end, and the other guy coming on strong towards the end. But eventually it just ended up being they got a split decision draw out of it, so they probably got to run it back. But yeah, that was a very interesting fight.
I thought Gomez won that fight, but what I'll say about Ingram is he's like a civilian who's just very strong, and I wish learned to box as a kid rather than taking up basketball, because he would be a very serious problem had he have learned how to box a lot sooner in life. But he's super tough, very durable, and his punches, they're so strange. They managed to get through, and that is a thing that a few people have said, and I've noticed that as well. Sometimes you'll get these guys that come in the gym that are like no bouters, probably had one spar or something, and they throw these punches in weird ways, and they end up busting your nose in your mouth, and you're thinking, how did these shots even land? You're not even skilled, where maybe the other person is so skilled and so used to shots coming from technical aspects, like block like that, because it's all coming from
Matrix.
make normal angle, but it's all coming from normal angles, like pads in it. Pads is usually one way, but because someone's throwing, like, like Madonna throws these weird shots, these shots are going to hit you because no one trains for things like that. You're not sparring people who punch like that. So that Ingram guy, he's actually very effective with his strange style, but it is very effective. But yeah, I think he's got a decent future. But I did think the Cuban guy Gomez won that fight, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So before we end, and thank you to everyone who is still tuned in and locked in and watching, let's just quickly, however you want to address it, talk about obviously now the cancelled bout between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Whether the people were excited or not, it was I guess a big fight for the for the cards. Obviously Netflix or free, everyone had access to it. Jake Paul is moving the date of that proposed bout, or the card itself, into December, and he's looking for possible opponents. We can briefly touch on obviously the Gervonta Davis scenario, but I would more be interested to discuss the fact that they've put out offers to a bunch of other people to see who they can kind of get to draft in for that fight. October, I'll give you the floor just for your kind of general opinion on maybe that situation, or who you think he will get in to try and salvage and save that event.
To be fair, I hadn't really paid much notice to the fight in the first place, even though it is what it is. People will tune in. It was one of them that I probably potentially watch the highlights the day after. I think Gervonta Davis probably needs to look at some therapy with these issues that he's got, where, allegedly he likes to put his hands on women and not necessarily as much on opponents. So I think he needs to have a look at some therapy regarding that, because he's one of these guys that could potentially have been something real and positive in boxing, and he's self-destructing. And that's me being as polite as I can be towards somebody who's been accused of domestic violence. As you know, I'm not a fan. In regards to Jake Paul, I think he's put the feelers out for Francis Ngannou. Obviously, there was a potential mention of Anthony Joshua, which, the way his name's been thrown around, it just seems like he's a bit of a cash out at the moment, if I'm going to be honest. But whatever, Jake Paul's going to make money because that's what he does. It's a shame that he can't fight Andrew Tate, because I probably would have enjoyed that more. Speaking of, like misfits or unconventional boxing, but at least Jake Paul's getting in there with fighters, even if they are 10 stone lighter than him.
Danny, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I wasn't really interested in the fight. It didn't really have that much of a good build up, in my opinion. Gervonta wasn't really interested in it. It's like someone put a battery in his back for the second day, where he had to try and talk a bit more. But other than that, it went cold anyway. So him being cancelled and scrapped doesn't really do anything for me. I would, the Andrew Tate one, when I saw that, I thought, oh, that could be a bit interesting. Two very controversial, eccentric kind of characters. But other than that, getting guys like Ngannou and Joshua, they just splatter someone like Jake Paul. So it's not really interesting, is it? I think Andrew Tate would be more of a fair fight, in my opinion.
You know that they put out a feeler to Rolly Romero I don't know
Good
if
day.
I don't know if he'd accept it, but to be honest, if I was him, I would maybe, because I don't think he wants to fight Shakram Giasov, so maybe he might decide to drop that WBA belt and take a money fight with someone like Jake. But look, the entire situation, I will keep it very brief. This is like the 10th time that there's been some kind, there's probably more, but 10 times in public record where there's been some sort of situation between Davis and a woman, whether it's an assault or a aggressive, or even when he hit the pregnant woman and then drove off and in the car, as in like he hit as a hit and run with the pregnant woman, all of that stuff there. I've got no more
Yeah.
for him. It's one of them ones. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, you're saying, oh, he said he wanted to go therapy. I'm like, nah, he was just trying to find excuses to not fight people. Small man, small heart, small mind. I'm not going to go any further into the analogies there, but yeah, good riddance. I'm gonna leave that one there. In terms of this fight card, though, I mean, look, he's got a month. He's gonna have to make sure. He's probably gonna be another smaller person, someone that maybe can at maximum maybe get to 170. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up trying to offer someone from like one of the Misfits shows,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and fighting someone from there.
Him and Andrew Tate's massive.
I mean, yeah, obviously that one it won't happen, but yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if you get I can't even remember the guy's name, the Mexican guy that's always on the Misfits cards, and he fought KSI. I'm sure someone in the chat. I know Philip will put the name in the chat for us. But
the tall guy, yeah, he's kind of tall,
Pineda.
tall and lanky.
Pineda.
That's it, yeah. Pineda. Him. So I think I wouldn't be surprised you got someone like him, or maybe what's the black guy's name who went over to Misfits, the proper boxer, but Idris Virgo.
Oh yeah,
someone like that. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't even be surprised if they decide to try and run it back with like Tommy Fury, see if he can get his win back. Yeah, I know it's obviously not what the people want to talk about, but I will say the only reason I'm even bringing this up is because I saw something whereby he's basically snooping around Badu Jack. He's waiting for the outcome of Badu Jack and Noel Gavor's rematch to potentially try and offer him a fight. And then I think Badu Jack obviously would probably prefer that fight towards even fighting a Zerdo or a Jai, because that one you'd probably feel like he's got a lot more chance to win. So, yeah.
Yeah, I even saw Ryan Garcia as a name in the hat as well, actually.
Yeah,
Boxing's a mess.
What's his name? De La Hoya said, "No, that one can't happen because
good.
He's got a contract to Golden Boy. Golden Boy got the contract to the Zone." So, but yeah. All right. Well, look. I mean, I feel like we done some good work tonight, people. Thank you very much. Any last words before we sign off, Danny? Let's start with you.
Yeah, I just want to give a massive shout out and let everybody know my thoughts and prayers, and I hope everyone's thoughts and prayers are with the families of myself, Based the Kid, and October Reds out in Jamaica. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know what's been going on out there. It's a very tough and torrid time for friends and family out there. If you're able to donate anything, tin food, clothes, find out where your nearest drop-off points are and stuff like that, send barrels. We can't be out here doing the whole Jamaica rap ragwan, but when it comes time to show out for our people over there who are really living this life, then we go side.
Yeah, give it straight to the people then.
Yeah, man.
Not no damn charity.
No,
I've got a big barrel downstairs ready to send off.
So please don't be going with people like the Red, them people there, because them man, they just jack your things. So just send it to the people direct. I know Western Unions are down at the moment, but there are other means. I know people are getting their Wi-Fi and internet stuff back slowly. So
Slowly.
contact them and see ways you can get things out to them personally, or with reputable companies and reputable people.
Yeah. No, I echo that. I won't say the same thing. Totally echoed on my side. Red, I will leave the final words to you. Thank you very much for still being up at this time. It is appreciated.
Bad pussy needs their sleep. What I will say is thank you to those of you that have joined us tonight, those of you that have donated money as well. We really do appreciate that. That's how it helps the channel to grow. Might be able to get a cheeky little coffee with that money. It all helps. Everything helps. Yes, we are a bit haphazard. I think the Tuesday night works well for us, if I'm honest. Tuesday evening, let's not go into night. Let's not push it. But yeah, as Bay said, we did put in some good work tonight. I hope you're as worn out as we are, because my jaw is aching and I do need to go to sleep. And there's all sorts of emotions going through my head, thinking about Jordan Thompson, Richard Riakporhe, all these names. It's, what a time to be alive.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Danny, we'll let you do the honors as you do like to do. But we will catch you, I guess, maybe next week, Tuesday. We'll see how this fits and see if you guys prefer it. We'll check the numbers.
Grand arrivals next week, Tuesday.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, we could do it after that, because aren't they at like 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it is around that time. Yeah, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Go for it, Danny.
And there you have it, guys. It's another episode of Fight Talk Live. It's Danny Glover. It's October Red. It's Base the Kid. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is. Ha ha.